Hi, I'm Katie Holmes, and welcome to The Next Level. On this show, we feature senior athletes going on to play at the college level. Today, I am so excited to have 3 seniors from South River High School with me. These 3 very impressive young athletes share a band of brotherhood from a very young age. They have been playing sports together since the age of 7. I have invited them on to share their story of what the next level looks like for them and hear how playing sports together has bonded them. This band of brotherhood is one I believe many of our athletes share with some of their teammates in many of the schools throughout the county. What an honor it is to welcome seniors Blake Burrows, Trayshawn Timmons, and Cash Herndon. Thank you all for being here today.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you share with me your earliest memory of when you guys met? How did you meet?
We met through SOYA football at Edgewater Field. Blake played up the first year, but we still knew who he was. I went to elementary school with him, so we were still good friends. And me and Trayshawn played together. And the first core memory I have, though, with all of us was 8U football. We played the Laurel Steelers. It was the state semifinals. We did not win that game. It was a tough loss, but it was the first time where, like, when you're young and when you get older and older, you kind of lose memories and you don't remember as much, but it's the one thing that I'll never forget. It's the first one where I was like, yeah, these are my boys.
And how old were you?
Then I was 8, so it was 8U football, second year of playing. Blake just dropped down to play with us that year, so it was fun.
What about you, Trey?
I would say probably when we played the team in basketball, it was like the Ravens or something like that, and Cash had like 42 points, and we just absolutely beat the team by like 30 points,
42 points at 8 years old.
Yes. He was like 6'5" at 8 years old.
I've been this height since like 7th grade.
He was so tall, so he literally just went by everyone and scored. It was so fun. It was so fun.
Blake.
I gotta say it was like it was our first practice when I dropped down to this team because I was playing with my older friends who brought me into football, but this is when I first was like, I want to be with these guys like for life, man. And it was funny practice because Trey was already giving the coach a fit, and we went on a lap run, and he had used the bathroom mid-lap, and so the rest of the practice we had to just keep running, and we ran all practice because he stopped just to use the bathroom during the lap. And after that practice, yeah. I've never forgot that to this day. And me and Cash were yelling at him.
Mid-lap, we're all half the teams halfway around the field, and then there's Trayshawn over in the woods.
Yeah,
it was great.
But, I guess that bad day made me love him.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it, but it's a core memory, and I'll never forget that.
So now you're 8, 9 years old, right? What about, like, going into middle school together? Because two of you were at one elementary school.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
Trey, you were at another one.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
then you all meet up together at Central Middle.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that like?
I remember the first day walking in there, and everybody sitting at the lunch tables. There were 6 long lunch tables. And I remember seeing all of the football kids there. And you start football before school. So all these kids that came from Central and Edgewater Elementary, I was at Mayo, all these kids that I now have finally met, and it's like that's when I first got to experience that middle school life, going to a bigger school, meeting all these new people, and I will never forget sitting there and Trayshawn and Blake, and they sat at the table and we just started talking about life, and can't wait to play together in high school, can't wait to do all this stuff. So, I mean, it's crazy thinking back on it, but.
What was it like for you, Trey?
It was very crazy. I was like 5'5", less than that. I was a midget. So my small tail, seeing all these big kids compared to me and getting ready to enter middle school, it's like, I kind of have to like find my friends and start to create this group and this bond that's going to last and get me through middle school and high school. So I remember to this day seeing them, I was cheesing ear to ear. I was cheesing ear to ear, screaming, Cash, Blake, Dad, what's up? What's up? We're finally in school together, And it was probably one of the best moments I've had since.
Thanks for sharing that. What about you, Blake? Same for you, right?
Yeah, definitely the all smiles. Like seeing them in school was like crazy. Like we were all at the same tables. Like I feel like the big part about it though is everyone knew like our group. Like they knew that we were together, and like it's been like that since that 6th grade first day, and like we're in the hallways and people see us together, like, oh, those guys have really been close. And I think that's important to us because we share that bond every day. And I think that in middle school, like, we didn't leave each other's houses.
Yeah.
Like, we lived with each other. And I think that is something that is rare, and I'm very grateful for that. And I think that they can say the same themselves. It's unreal.
In the summertime, it was like, it's the craziest thing. It was like all throughout middle school, it was like 3 days we'd be here, and then it was like all of us just packed our stuff up, and it was 3 days here, just so our parents wouldn't get mad that we weren't coming home, but we were all able to stay together that way. So we were just 3 days here, 3 here, 3 here.
Nobody went somewhere by themselves. It was
Yeah.
always just the group or no one goes.
Yeah.
It's great.
So fast forward a little bit. So we're out of middle school. We're entering high school. You guys have bonded. You're so strong. You're very tight together. You're going into high school. How does that feel?
I'll answer this one first. I'll go first
Yeah,
for this
you
one.
can go first on this one.
So there was always like a thought of like us splitting up, like not because it's high school now. So now you have other schools, because we had other schools come. So we had Crofton come. So it's like our group could have split up. We could have been in 3 different friend groups, not talk to each other as much as we did in middle school, but we didn't. And so like that created the bond even more, because now we're going through high school just as one and not individually.
I think my biggest anticipation when it came to high school was I have 4 older sisters. Blake has an older sister, and we were around South River sports my entire life. Since I could remember, I was going to South River basketball games, football games, lacrosse games, and my biggest anticipation was I couldn't wait to play with them in high school. Like, I couldn't wait to have these Friday night games that we just had this past year where we have an entire bleacher filled screaming for us and cheering for us. And here we are in a big game. I remember the Meade game in specific. Friday night, huge game, a lot of fans there. Had a great win, pulled off a great win they lost in the state championship game versus Parkville this year. So huge win. And that's those type of games where buzzer sounds, you look over at all the students and you're like, yeah, like it was all worth. This is why it's worth it. Like, this is everything I've been working for, looking for. Like, this is it. Felt completely rewarded at that moment. So
Aww.
yeah.
I think that like we were sitting there in our 9th grade year and looked up at those seniors, and we were like, they have good groups. They're so like looked up to, but I think that we exceeded that, and I think that's because we talked about it, we dreamed about it. That's for sure. Like, I know we dreamed about it, and then we're living in it now, which is the craziest part about it. And I think that those games Cash was talking about, those memories Trey's talking about, we've built on that to the max capacity that we have tried to, and I think that we've just made a difference with our group. And that's what we tried to do is, like, for the sports that we've played, we've tried to show how when the fans come out, we're trying to win big games, trying to maybe change the program for basketball. And I think that it's more than just friends. Like, that's what makes us brothers.
Right.
I think that is what's so
these
key
are like-
about it. Yeah.
I was at the Amish market the other day, to touch on what Blake's saying. It sounds crazy, but I was at the Amish market the other day, and I was leaving, and as I was leaving, I could see this car kind of pull out of the corner of my eye. And he rolls down the window, and he says, hey. And I was like, I turn around, I'm like, hey. He's like, you go to South River? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you're Cash. You play basketball. He was like, you and your boys, man, I loved coming to watch you guys play. He was like, I had my cousins, my uncles, my friends. He said everybody I knew I was having come to those games. And he had 2 little boys in the car. So it was the cutest thing. Like, that was one of those things where I reminisced on that all day. Like, that's what makes it all exciting. Like, our friendship, our brotherhood, like, we just trying to set an example.
It grew on other people, and I think there's people that we've seen. We even went to support one of our former teammates at UMBC in his MIAA championship game, and there was people there talking to like us about our games, and they're like huge St. Mary's fans, and I mean it just goes to show how like around the word got, and it's like crazy to think about, but then you have to sit back and just appreciate it.
Great high school memories.
I believe that we had people that haven't been intrigued in South River sports in a while get pretty involved this year. It was really cool to see the amount of people that we could bring out to every Friday night game consistently. It wasn't just because we were playing Southern or just because we were playing Meade or any game we played. It was always, we had
was just
so
hype
much
to it,
support. It was
exactly.
crazy. It was crazy.
What's the biggest growth that you have seen in each other?
I'll take this one first.
All right, you go first.
I'll
This
take
one.
this
Yeah,
one
you got this
first.
one.
You know, the growth in like my friends has just been, it's crazy. Like, to play college sports is already hard enough, but the fact that like we did it at the school, stayed together, like South River, and like did it together, working out together, all those like morning workouts and stuff like that, I think it just goes to show like how much we care. And the fact I've seen like Trey would say he's 5'5", he could still be that height, and the work he's put in would still count for him to be a collegiate football player. And like Cash, like 42 points, he's younger. He didn't just score 42 points when he was younger because he was like 6'5". Like he's put in the work since then, and like he's smart. He knows the game more than anyone. So I think to see them grow helps me grow too. And
Right.
I think that's how it is. Like
So
I
they
see
were
them
able to
grow.
hold you accountable.
Yeah, exactly. Us holding each other accountable is huge.
I'm going to touch on what Blake said first about Trayshawn because it was exactly the thought in my head. Trayshawn was always dominant in football my entire life, all I can remember. There was a time in like 7th or 8th grade, he was still dominant, but people were kind of growing and everybody was kind of catching up to his size, his speed. And then you saw his late freshman, summer, sophomore year, now he regrew again, and you saw the dominance regain, and you saw him take over the county in football again, and that was an incredible thing to see because I got to see it, and then I got to see a little change. Still dominant, but just people were also, very good. And then you got to see that change again where he just, gone. He just took off.
You were seeing one of your best friends exceed.
I mean, yeah, it was like, it was just over the summer. Here comes sophomore football, junior football season for him. And it was like, he's right back to, if not 10 times past where he was. So that was great to see. And Blake, nobody ever put in the work like Blake did over COVID. And I will fight that to the day I die for anybody because that man, he put his head down and you can see it. You could see it. Everybody that I knew could see it, and it was incredible to see. It was absolutely awesome. So
Let me ask, who's the most serious out of the three of you?
me, 100%.
In terms of what?
Yeah.
what are we
In
talking
terms
about?
Like
of what?
just who has the more serious demeanor? Serious about school? Who's just serious? None of you. Okay, great.
It goes. It depends what it is.
When it comes to life, I'm the most serious, no doubt.
Thank
School,
you, Cash.
Blake's the most serious.
Okay.
He's great worker.
When it comes
He
to
doesn't
anything with
procrastinate.
sports,
Uh-huh.
being better than them, anything.
Trayshawn.
Right.
Yeah. So
Okay.
it
And that's
splits out perfectly.
that's what starts arguments and
Yeah.
pushing each other because we could be playing water polo or something that
Yeah.
none of us have ever done, and he will be like, "I'm better than you."
Yeah.
And then
You're
that's
lucky we don't
that's
have
all.
Jeremy on here.
Right.
That's
You're
all.
lucky we
That's
don't
all.
have
That's all we
Jeremy on
need,
here.
and then that's what
Yeah.
sparks the competition.
Who's the funniest?
Trayshawn.
100%.
Trayshawn. He doesn't have a filter. He just says what he thinks, and it's always funny. So
No matter what he
I just
says,
keep-
I
there's
laugh.
nothing that can beat that. Unfiltered funny that you can just
I
whatever
just keep it
comes to
real.
your
I
head.
just keep it
Okay.
real.
It's
That's all.
it's hilarious. It's great. though.
Trey's the comedian.
Yeah, no doubt.
Has there ever been a time that one of you has been injured? And I'm sure there has. You guys have been playing your whole life. But how were the other two able to be there for the one that was hurt at the time?
So when he got hurt, I'll tell you both sides. All right. So when he got hurt,
He broke his collarbone.
yeah, we were laughing at him.
We
We
were.
were laughing.
It was
at
late in the
him.
game, 2 minutes left, tied up, and my arm was down to my knee. Literally, it was just, and so I'm coming off, and I was in shock, no pain. It was just like,
We were like, what?
I do not feel right. Like something is wrong. I felt like a baby. Here I am, tied up late in the game, and I'm taking myself out.
First
But
ever
something
high
was
school
just
football
Yeah.
First ever high school.
first ever high school
football
first.
game.
First snap, first
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, and
We were
First-
like,
and I knew that they were going to be giving me a hard time. And that was my first thought in my head was, I'm a baby. I don't want to be a baby. I swear I feel hurt. Like something's wrong. And then when the trainer came over and they realized that my collarbone snapped in half, they were like,
yeah.
jaw
wasn't
dropped.
the
Oh my
When we
God.
saw the
It
tears.
wasn't
we
until
were
later
like,
that
oh
night
my
we all
God.
went to his house because
Yeah.
he was in a rocking chair for 3 months
Yeah.
sleeping because he couldn't lay back.
Yeah,
He
had
was
to
sick.
sleep like
He was
this.
like actually hurt, and then we were like, oh, this is serious.
This is
And so we always had to just like go there and just
Yeah.
And
like
it
chill
hurt.
out, play some Xbox, whatever it might be. But he had to. I felt so bad just the fact he couldn't lay down. It was
Yeah,
terrible.
and it was like kind of like war. I felt bad because he wanted to be out there as much as we wanted to be out there, and we wanted him. Like, he was our quarterback.
Yeah.
So
Right.
starting quarterback. So like to lose your starting quarterback, and he's been throwing to us for years. So like our chemistry just went out
Yeah.
went out the door because he got hurt, and oh man, it definitely did suck. It
Right.
sucked.
So Cash, I'm gonna start with you. You had 1,000 points in high school. Did not have a sophomore year,
Yes, ma'am.
correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell me about some of your other accolades that you have.
This past year, I got first team All County, first team All Capital Gazette, and then Washington Metro All Honorable Mention.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I appreciate that a ton.
What does the next level look like for you? Where are you going?
I'm going to Frostburg, and I'm playing basketball at Frostburg. I'm super excited. People are like, "Are you excited about that?" Like, really? And I'm stoked. Like, I'm looking so forward to it. So,
Congratulations.
thank you.
Trey, now you also have some accolades. Can you tell me about those?
So I got first team, I guess it's all athlete for first 21 and 22. So I guess it's like the best athlete in the county. I got that. And then I got honorable mention, I guess, for basketball, which
Yeah. And where are you headed to? What does the next level look like for you?
I'll be going to Frostburg to play football.
So you two will both be at Frostburg University.
Yes, ma'am.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And Blake, you got second team All County basketball.
Correct.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Where are you going to be next year at the next level?
I'm gonna be going to Salisbury, and I'm hoping to be a dual sport athlete there. And I just decided that he was helping my football film this week actually, because I was like, I kind of like both playing two sports, and if I can make it happen, I'm gonna do that. But it's coming, so we'll see. But thank you,
Congratulations.
I appreciate that.
That's great. So it's going to be definitely an adjustment for you because those two will be at Frostburg.
Yeah,
And they'll have each other, so you'll be
at least we're in the same state. I mean,
there.
Well,
you
he'll
go.
be there with our other friends too, like our
There
other
you go.
our
yeah.
other friends
That's
in our
perfect.
group chat.
six of our 8 of our group is gonna be in the state of Maryland playing a sport.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Fantastic. Well, we will be right back after a short break. We're going to play a little trivia game, and we'll talk more about it after this break. We are back, and we are going to play a trivia game. All three of them told me that their favorite coach was Coach Darren Hall. He coached them all 4 years in basketball. Let's see who really knows Coach Hall the best. Are you guys ready?
Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am.
They have buzzards in their hands, and let's go. Let's get started. How tall is Coach Hall? Cash?
6'6".
No. Blake?
6'5".
Nah.
No.
So I guess I'm up 6'4".
6'7".
Yes,
Yeah,
Cash.
all right, I knew it was 6'6" or 6'7", so I'm glad that it got back to me.
All right.
He's tall. You gotta think about how tall he is. He's
Right. Okay. Question number 2. What college did Coach Hall attend? Cash?
Liberty.
Correct. Cash has 2. Okay. The third question. What high school did Coach Hall attend? Blake?
South River.
Yes. Correct.
I'm an idiot. Yeah,
Correct. Okay.
that one was bad.
Question
we should've
4. What record does Coach Hall hold at South River High School? Cash?
known. The all-time scoring record.
Correct. I'll give you a bonus point if you can tell me how many.
1496.
Oh, Cash. Good job. Good job. All right. What is Coach Hall's favorite drill to run in practice?
Run the wings.
Yes, that is correct, Blake. Okay. What's one word that you won't hear Coach Hall say?
Southern.
Yes, correct.
It's Harwood.
All right, last question. What specific skill would you tell an incoming 9th grader that needs to work on in order to fit into Coach Hall's system? Trayshawn.
Advancing the ball.
Nope.
Shooting?
Yes.
I was gonna say
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Definitely.
But I definitely think Cash knows Coach Hall the best. Blake coming in second. No, actually, I think it's a tie between the two of you.
scoring mark got him.
But you know
Scoring
what?
mark got me.
Yes,
Because
yes.
I've known that one for forever.
He would be very proud that you did know all of the answers.
I was nervous. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that you might throw little trick questions at us, but
Yeah.
it was good.
Blake, so you guys told me about this podcast called The Hawk Talk at South River. Can you tell me about that?
Yeah, so there was a lot we talked about on there, and Tom, what's his
Tom
name?
Frank.
Tom Frank. He does a great job of like representing us at South River and all the other athletes. So we got on there and we just like to talk about like what we wanted the community like to do with what our basketball team was trying to do. I guess that's if I'm trying to say that right, but like how Friday night games were so packed and how. I don't know, just how our basketball team was trying to like represent the community so well. I think that's what we did, and I'm kind of.
We talked about
out.
earlier in this. We talked about the Friday night games having a lot of people and how we used to go to games when we were younger. And well, South River boys basketball has never had the narrative of being a known, talented basketball program, and we knew that. We knew that going into there, and our thing is we wanted to make a change. When we realized we were all there, we wanted to keep the private school kids at South River. We lose so much talent every year to private schools, and it's like we wanted to be one of the reasons where a kid might be like, hey, I'm going to stay here so I can play basketball at South River. I want to do what these kids did. And that was a big emphasis that we talked about on that podcast, and changing the narrative of South River basketball, getting good student sections there, getting a lot of fans there, winning big-time games, beat Eleanor Roosevelt this year, defending 4A state champion, beat Meade, who was lost in the state championship versus Parkville, who had one loss on the year, I believe. So that was our goal, and it was the main thing that the Hawk talks about, is we wanted to change the look of South River basketball for South River as a whole. We want it to be not this year that we're good, but the next 5 years we can be good and keep kids outside. I know of plenty of talent in the middle school right now that I would love to see come to South River, and I hope that us three, and along with the rest of the team, is part of the reason why these kids are deciding, you know what, I'm going to go here instead of go to this private school. Because I was going to be one of them.
Oh.
Until Coach Hall came to South River, I was 100% going to be one of them. And I have zero regrets. I mean, not even the slightest bit of regret with my decision. So I want to show people, look, you're able to do what you want to do at South River the same way you can do anywhere else. And I believe we did a great job at that this year.
Yeah, well, you did a great job of explaining that, and
Thank you.
I mean,
Yeah, I was
that's
stuck.
huge.
That helped me out.
That's
I
huge.
got you, bro. I got you.
Yeah, Trey, what about you? Like,
So I think one of the main points we touched on in the podcast is about like, I guess like the younger generation and stuff like that, the people who are next up, like the sophomores and juniors and the kids transitioning from middle school to South River to high school and stuff like that. And we were just trying to like give them guidance and tell them that like in order for you to be successful and like I guess like anything you do, and especially on the basketball court, you have to come with like that confidence, that I guess like that swagger.
Fire.
Yeah,
Yeah.
in order to achieve what you want to achieve.
yeah, it's funny. You guys are seniors, and you guys already sound like alum. Like, you will always be active in the South River. You guys are vested in it. You know?
I'm big on that, because like I think giving back to like the younger kids in the community, because I wish I had that.
Yeah.
Like I wish I had a senior who hung out with me as a
Mentoring.
freshman. Yes, mentoring, yes. And hung out like did stuff with me to make me like look up to that person. Like I want the freshmen, the juniors, even people my age to like be like, Trayshawn, he's someone to look up to. He's a good role model. He's a good leader. And even like with Cash and Blake, same thing. Like I look up to them. I look up to like, they are wonderful, perfect. I look up to them. I want to be just like them,
look
or
up
even
to you
better.
too, bro.
Like I think that just like having your younger generation know that they're like loved and that they have people to look up to is big. It's big.
Do either three of you have any like aspirations to become a teacher, a coach one day?
A lawyer.
I think
I want to be a lawyer.
Okay.
lawyer. I think I would do something. I definitely want to be
I
a
feel
coach.
like I'll coach at some point, but I don't know. I really don't know where my journey will take me, but I could see myself coaching something, or maybe.
Coaching.
I could see the
definitely.
three of you
Yeah.
coming back as basketball coaches one day, and I just hope
I
I'm here to
definitely
see
talk-
I
it.
would love to come back and coach at South River.
Yes.
No doubt. I'm the type of person where I know right now in my life, I want to live in Annapolis, Mayo, Edgewater, Broadneck. I want to live in this area for the rest of my life. And I'm dead set on that. Like, it's something that I've thought about for forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I would love nothing more than
So
to come be a
connected
part
to
of that.
Right.
Yeah,
well,
South
Cash,
River
in order to be a coach, you just have to be 21 years of age to coach
I mean,
in Anne Arundel County.
yeah.
So keep that on your radar.
I will definitely. I'm going to have to give Coach Hall a text maybe 4 or 5 years from now and see
Yes.
what's up.
I'm sure he'd love to have you as his assistant
that'd be
coach.
Awesome. That'd be awesome.
Right.
Would be.
Well, congratulations and best of luck to you three.
Thank
I
you.
look forward to following you through your 4-year journey in college. And
Thank you.
keep watching, you guys, and always come back, stay in touch with me.
We will. We will.
Good. Thank you.
Of course.
I like to close our show with a quote from an inspiring athlete. "Greatness is a lot of small things done well," said the former Baltimore Raven, Ray Lewis. Also, if you haven't seen the Athletes in Action show hosted by Wiley Baker, check it out. The latest episode features the entire South River basketball team and more from Coach Darren Hall. I would like to thank you for joining us on The Next Level. I am Katie Holmes and hope that you will join us next time. Thank you for watching.